Good day, everyone. I'm Analarai with Sparkles of Love, and today I'm here with an exciting update. Mother Gaia is leaving, and her replacement is here. And if you've been following me a while, you know that I announced back in May of 2022 that Mother Gaia was leaving, and she shared us with that back then, and we started talking about the baby that was coming forward or came forth. And so the guides are really asking me now. The solstice has just passed. We're into the first days of summer here in 2025. And they really want everyone to have some hope and some understanding of what's happening now. So I've written out my timeline, not my timeline, her timeline. And I want to share that with you so you can share it with others. And back in 2021, in September, I was facilitating a gathering, and Gaia moved the new earth energies that was in the fifth dimension into her womb. And we were really surprised. It was a big shock, but it was really, really exciting. And she talked about it like it was a pregnancy. That's the analogy that she has used all along. And then in December of 2021, she announced that on an Alchemy Global Meditation call that she was pregnant with and would be birthing the new baby, the consciousness that would replace her when her contracts are finished. And I assumed, I don't know where the assumption came from, but I assumed it would be several years before. But in February of 2022, at another gathering, we got to put our hands on, energetically of course, put our hands on the womb and connect with what we call the baby and the new consciousness coming forth. And it was definitely a divine feminine energy. And she was confused, the baby, about the polarity here on it within humans. And she showed us little bits of what would come when she takes over. And we saw new crystals, new plants, new elements, new fruits, new earth formations. So she was really, really excited. A few months later, April 3rd to 7th, 2022, we were doing an alchemy gathering, and I just about fell over in shock when on the last day of the gathering, I woke up early in the morning to have the guides tell me that the baby was ready to be born, that she was coming forth now. And again, this is all energetically. And the baby is from the first line, was one of the first born from the original creator beings when this cycle of earth took place. Gaia announced she was leaving. Her contracts to hold the consciousness of earth are over. And as we move into a fifth dimensional earth, a higher level of unity consciousness or Christ consciousness earth, it's no longer her job to hold. And she doesn't want anyone to be sorry or sad for her. She's really excited about her new adventures. So the baby was birthed with all of the original creator beings present, the angelic realm, the enlightened ones and ascended masters. There were mythical creatures. Dr. Lorphin and his team of healers were there, the Alchemy Collective Consciousness High Council, and all kinds of other representatives from across the galaxy were present. There were too many for me to name. And she was birthed in the divine energies of peace, divinity, and love. And she was being infused with the energy of joy. And there were great welcomes that were happening as she was being born. And then that morning at 10:51 Pacific time, here from Vancouver Island, after she was birthed, she sent out this huge wave of love to all of humanity, and all of us in the room that were witness to her birth felt it, but that really went out. And she shared that the Crystal Peace Network that we had been working on all week was required for her birth. She had to be birthed in the vibrations of peace. Gaia is going to, Mother Gaia is overlighting her and helping her. And eventually what would happen is that they would share the responsibilities of holding the consciousness until she was full capacity, and then Gaia would ascend herself. So the ascension process isn't just us, it's the planet as well. And the guides also said that we had to keep this confidential, that the baby was not to be disturbed, and this information wasn't really to go out right away. That's wait till you hear what happened. And they also shared that the birth of the new consciousness for planet Earth, that her actual birth sent ripples through time and space. Okay, so 9 days later, I'm back here at home, and it's the full moon, and I do a guided meditation called Advanced Opportunities on the full moon. And I rarely know in advance what's coming through. And the day before, I'm walking down my hallway, and all of a sudden the baby shows up. And she says, "I'm announcing I'm here tomorrow." And I'm like, what? How is that possible? You've been here 9 days, and I can feel like all of a sudden the heavens scramble and there's shock everywhere. It was really quite funny on an energetic level. And so the next morning, Mother Gaia comes in and says, "I will be announcing." We're not letting her jump in and speak 9 days in, but I will be announcing that she is here. So on the full moon of April 16th, Mother Gaia announced to the world that the new consciousness had been birthed. And that is still available in my website on the full moon of April 16th, 2022. And so then the guides came through, and a few days later, on May 24th, they asked me to do a YouTube announcement. So if you've been following me, you probably heard it way back in 2022. And if you're new to me, you can go back and listen to it again if you want. It's quite short. And then on May 28th, in a workshop, the new baby announced that regeneration is part of her purpose. And it has been a long, long, long time since she had incarnated on Earth. So she has had other lifetimes on Earth, but not in a very, very long time. And we called her the baby because there was no name yet. So I spent a good part of time with her in June searching. She would give me names and ask me to look on them and see if they meant something in languages on Earth and different things. So we went through a whole phase of searching. And then on July 13th, 2022, she picked her name, which is Karila, spelled K, capital K-A-R-I, space, capital L-A, Karila. And so this is the name she has chosen to go by. And she announced on that day as well that it will not only be her, because as we move into unity consciousness, it will be her and a council of 12 light beings that will hold the consciousness for Earth moving forward, which makes perfect sense now as we're moving into the higher dimensions. So that is up until 2022. And then August that year, she shared her name publicly on the Alchemy Global Collective Meditation. And then that September at a gathering, she already started planting the seeds of peace, health, freedom, and sovereignty. And that was in the attendees and into the grids and into the earth. So she started working really, really quickly. And she also showed us during that gathering, she started bringing down orbs of light, or we call them eggs. And she would place them in what was on a pedestal in this sacred space. And at the same time at that gathering, we had worked and she had created a sovereignty grid. And she merged that with the unity grid that was created by the alchemy a few years ago. So sovereignty is really big for her and for us. And she was happier with the work on sovereignty than she was with her own birth. I mean, we were so thrilled with her birth. It meant so much was changing. But for her, the big thing was being able to anchor the sovereignty grids and the templates that would be support humanity stepping into sovereignty. And by this point, she already has her own temple in the earth. She's not part of Mother Gaia's anymore. Then in 2023, at the end of 2022, she announced to me that she wanted to offer a program. And she called it the Advancement of Humanity. And it was once a month for 12 months. it's going to be available shortly on my website. And what it did in the first year is she connected different parts of the human body with different locations on the planet and connected them. And then the second year, we weren't in class anymore, but each month she would activate the connection between them. And they were, just so you know, the first was the nervous system connected to the Amazon, the brain connected to a space in the United Kingdom, the reproductive system was connected to a space in India. And all of these are spaces of nature. The immune system was connected here on Vancouver Island. The digestive system was connected in Australia. The chakra system was connected in the Arctic. The cardiovascular circulatory system was connected in China. The muscular skeletal system was connected in Peru. The endocrine system was connected in Mexico. And the auric field was connected in Estonia. And she shared that these were all future systems created for future energies that will assist humanity in being more connected to the earth and their own bodies. And the earth system stays individual as there isn't the energetic yet to hold for the earth system. So it's more individuals. And the human system began to activate in December 2023 and continued through to 2024. One system a month, and they're really interdimensional systems. So then in 2023 in March, she came through on the next advanced opportunity full moon and did a clinical trial with those in attendance on cellular regeneration of very specific organs. So and then in April, she did the next advanced opportunity full moon on slowing the aging process. And then in September, she showed up again and she brought through 6 codes of light for 2024. And they were health, hope, happiness, vitality, and abundance. And then in October, on the full moon advanced opportunity, she brought in a new wave of energy that we didn't know what it was going to be, but it could only flow a little wee bit at a time through all the participants in a small trickle. And the more you hold the joy, the peace, the love, the more the flow would open up for those of us that were the experiment, so to speak. By the time we hit 2024, it was in February during a global meditation, she brought through a new energy that we ended up calling Nuvenation, because it was like rejuvenation, but it was new. So it was a combination of rejuvenation and something that's never been on the planet. So we just call it Nuvenation. And you can go to the alchemycollective.org, to our website, the Alchemy's website, and go to past meditations on the drop-down menu, and you can listen to any and download the Nuvenation and feel all the energies of it. And that is out there. She works with it regularly. And then at the Alchemy Gathering in April 7th to 11th that year in 2024, she shared that there were going to be 6 new codes for the new earth. And much like the original 33 codes of origin that I did several years ago. And she brought through the first 3 codes then for the participants, and they were hope, prosperity, and restoration. And she said it would be in the next coming years, the next 3 codes would come forth. And this new energy she was bringing in 2024 in September, we were at the next gathering in Muskoka in Northern Ontario, Canada. And she gave us information on it. And she said that it was the New Earth Foundation. It was required for the Great Awakening. It dissolves the limitations placed on the human DNA. And so we worked with that during the gathering. But what she also showed us, which was really exciting, is now there were 12 pods on these pedestals in her temple. Remember I said before she brought in eggs of light or spheres of light, and there were 12 of them in the temple. And we worked with those during the gathering. And these are the beings that will be her Council of 12 that will hold the consciousness for humanity, for Earth. And she shared that there are divine feminine, she called them sisters, divine masculine, she called them brothers, and what we would call neutral beings, okay, non-gender. And the council as a whole can't come forth until all 12 of the beings are awakened. And it will most likely be what they call a silent handover, but she shared there would be a significant energetic change. I want to read this exactly. Significant energetic change when the council comes forth. It would be impossible to be unnoticed. Okay, and 3 of the 12 were birthed in September 2024. Okay, so we still have a long ways to go. There's more to fully awaken, and yeah, so that was pretty exciting. And then on November 23rd, during a workshop, and this is still in 2024, Karila helped bring forth a new member of our map healing teams for each of us, and that's to support the human body again. So I'm really excited to share this update with you. She continues to work with me and attend all the gatherings. She comes through occasionally on the Alchemy Collective Consciousness, and she is just this magnificent being filled with joy. And right now, we would say that it would be fair to say it's at least a 50-50 split between her energies and Mother Gaia, okay? And sometimes during a gathering or something, it's much stronger her, but right now, overall, it is approximately a 50-50 split in terms of the support that they are holding on planet Earth. So this really is another sign that things are shifting and changing, and we hope that this gives you lots of hope for the future, as Mother Gaia is going to be leaving on her next adventure that she's excited about, and this magnificent being, Karila, has come forth with her Council of 12, who will eventually take over the space for Mother Gaia and hold humanity into the higher dimensions as a whole planet and a collective consciousness. I'm Ana-La-Rai with Sparkles of Love, and I wish you a very happy summer solstice. Bye for now.